What's up guys, it's Dennis. In today's video, we're going to be going through some of the uses of an HSA account. HSA accounts have become really popular in recent years with people that have high deductible health plans. However, even though you may have an HSA, it doesn't mean you necessarily know what you can use it for, and that's where this video comes in handy. By the end of this video, you're going to have a solid understanding as to what you can use your HSA for. And as a bonus, if you watch the end of the video, I'm going to let you in on how you can let your HSA funds go even further. Before we dive in, I have a really quick favor to ask for you guys, and that's that you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the video get promoted and lets more people see valuable content just like this. Before we dive into some of the specifics of the HSA and what you can use it for, I'd like to remind everyone that an HSA requires quite a bit of admin, so you're going to want to keep as many receipts as what you can. Generally, what I like to do is I like to upload them to a file storage provider, something like Dropbox or iCloud Drive. I find that having a folder dedicated to things like receipts saving can really help in the long run, and I start categorizing it by certain years as to when I claim the deductions. This is especially useful for when it's tax season time and you're scrambling around for receipts, or if you get selected for an audit. All right, so let's start with the first one, and that's the biggest one, and that's medical expenses. Now, it might seem pretty obvious, but I'm going to point it out anyway. If you have any kind of medical expenses, by this, I mean any sort of operation, any co-pays, deductibles, co-insurance, whatever it is, you can use your HSA for those medical expenses. To be honest with you, I've maxed out this category every single year that I've had an HSA account, so I don't even start looking at some of the other expenses. However, knowing what else can qualify for your HSA is really helpful in the event that you don't max out your medical expenses. When you have an HSA, you're on a high deductible health plan, and what that means is that you will pay until you reach that deductible, commonly known as the out-of-pocket maximum, and once you hit that, everything else is then covered, provided that it's an in-network covered service. For people that are on Medicare, you can use your HSA funds to go towards some of the fees that are not covered or costs that are out of pocket. Medications is the next thing that we're going to cover, and that's something that's very easily overlooked. Most people, when they fill scripts, go through to the pharmacy, they get their script filled, and that's the end of it. However, people that do that are making a big mistake, and that's because you can claim any scripts that you fill at the pharmacy on an HSA. Now, this isn't necessarily just items that are on a prescription. Even the items such as Tylenol may be covered. So next time you have a headache, don't fret too much because it's going to be covered with your HSA, provided that you keep the receipts. Some other items which are included in medications include weight loss supplements, nutritional supplements, and believe it or not, vitamins. So yes, next time you're bulking up and you've entered into Hulk mode, don't forget to reach for your receipt and save it to make a financially sound decision. Now, one thing that I will say is generally it's a little bit more difficult if you buy these items with your other regular grocery shopping. So what I would recommend, if you are going to buy stuff like Tylenol at the grocery store, just do a separate shop for it and ring it up separately. That way you have a receipt for just the medical items that you're going to claim for your HSA. When I was preparing for this video, this item actually caught me off guard. I really wasn't expecting incremental costs to be covered with your HSA funds. Now, what does that mean? What is an incremental cost? Well, you can claim any meals or lodging that you incur as a result of a medical emergency. So for example, if you have a sick child, taking that child to out of state, staying in the hospital, any meals that you may eat, those will be covered for your HSA because they're as a result of a direct medical emergency. This one was a really big eye-opener for me, so definitely don't forget it. You may not be thinking about it in the time of an emergency, but definitely just keep your receipts. How often do you get your teeth cleaned and your vision checked? Well, you should do it around once a year. I'm not a medical professional, however, that's generally what's recommended. But the good news is that cost is claimable for the purposes of your HSA expenses. So keep your receipts. I actually just got back from the eye doctor myself, and we got some glasses for my wife, and they will be claimed as a medical expense. Once again, this is an expense that's very easy to forget about because you're just there to get your eyes checked or whatever the case is, or get your teeth cleaned. But knowing that you're going to be covered is really great. If you need a guide dog for someone in your family as an emotional support animal, it's really nice knowing that our furry friends can also be on the list as a claimable expense. The last item on my list is my favorite, and that's that you can use your HSA funds for retirement planning. Now, I made a whole video about how you can use your HSA to max out your retirement savings. So click the link at the top of the screen to view that video right now. I go through exactly what I use my HSA account for and how you can maximize your money. You can use your HSA as a long-term retirement vehicle, and the best part is you're able to claim back any of your expenses at any point in time. If you're curious about this option, definitely check out the video. Lastly, if you're like me and you don't like to leave home, online merchants such as Amazon have whole sections on their websites about what items are claimable for HSA or FSA purposes. Finally, if you're in doubt, the IRS issued publication 502 that you can use, which details a lot of the expenses you're able to claim as a deduction. For those of you who made it to the end of the video, I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about some HSA expenses that you didn't know that you could claim. To keep the conversation going, what HSA expenses did you not know about? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And also, if I missed one, feel free to leave it down below. Thanks for watching today's video. I'd love if you guys could follow me on Instagram. I'm leaving my handle on the screen right now. And lastly, if you were interested about that other video about HSAs, definitely click the link over here. I'm waiting. Just click the link.